You know that feeling, right? Drowning in complexity at work. You're trying to juggle massive projects, navigate constant change, and then, bam, an audit lands on your desk. It is just overwhelming. But what if I told you there's a clear path from all that chaos to a state of calm, controlled, seamless flow? Well, that's exactly the journey we're going to take today.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to get real about the challenge we're all up against. Then, we'll dive into two super powerful principles, precision and governance, that are the bedrock of the solution. We'll see how they come together to create that seamless flow. And you're definitely going to want to stick around for the end, because that's where we see the incredible payoff that comes from getting this right.
Okay, first things first, we have to talk about the challenge. You can't really solve a problem until you're willing to look it right in the eye. And for so many teams, that problem is just this tangled, chaotic mess of complexity.
So let me ask you this. Just think about your own day-to-day. Is your workflow a nice, clear, straight road? Or does it feel a little more like you're lost in a fog, just constantly putting out one fire after another? If you feel like you're always reacting instead of being proactive, hey, that's not just you. That is a classic sign that complexity is winning the battle. And look, this chaos, it doesn't just come out of nowhere. It usually sprouts from three very specific, very high-stakes areas. You've got the huge scale of managing project portfolios. Then you've got the constant whirlwind of organizational change. And, as if that weren't enough, the super demanding process of audits. Any one of these is tough. All three together, that's a perfect storm. So, how in the world do we start to fight back against all this chaos? Well, the first part of the answer begins with a word you might not expect: precision. Now, when we say precision here, we mean a lot more than just being accurate. It's really a whole mindset. It's about designing your programs with real intention, right from the get-go, thinking through every single piece, every connection, every possible outcome. It's basically the difference between building your project on solid rock versus building it on shifting sand. This idea right here really nails it. Success isn't some happy accident. It's engineered from the very start. When a program is designed with this kind of careful precision, it's just built to be more resilient, more predictable. It's literally designed to handle the chaos we were just talking about.
But listen, a precise design is just the blueprint. To actually build the thing correctly, and this is just as important, keep it on track, you need something else. You need a system to guide you. And this is where governance enters the picture. Think of it like the operating system for your entire project. It's the rules of the road, the processes for making decisions, and the clear lines of who's responsible for what. It's that master plan that turns a beautiful design into a working reality. And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, without governance, you've got pure chaos, confusion, people working against each other, tons of wasted time on rework. But the moment you bring in a strong governance framework, everything clicks. You get clarity, you get consistency, and you get real guided progress. You're literally moving from chaos to control. Okay, so we've got our precisely designed program, and we have a strong governance framework to guide it. When you put those two incredible forces together, something really amazing starts to happen. You start to achieve a state of seamless flow. This phrase from our source material is everything. Notice it doesn't say get rid of complexity, because let's be honest, big projects are always going to be complex. The whole point is to transform it. You're taking that tangled knot of work and methodically straightening it out into a smooth, powerful river, with everything moving in the same direction. So here's how the magic happens step by step. You start by really defining where your complexity is coming from. Then you apply that principle of precision to design a rock-solid program structure. Next, you implement that robust governance model to guide every single move. And the natural result of doing all that? A seamless, predictable, and way more efficient workflow. And creating that seamless flow isn't just about making your day-to-day work feel a little smoother. No, it leads to real, game-changing results for the business. This right here is the ultimate payoff for all that upfront work of design and discipline. So what does that payoff actually look like? Well, it really just boils down to two huge advantages. First, you elevate your entire team's capability. People aren't just working harder, they're working smarter, they're building better skills. And second, you optimize the workflows themselves, making everything faster, more reliable, and just plain more effective. I mean, just look at the difference on this chart, the before versus the after. We're not talking about small, tiny improvements here. Putting a system like this in place creates a massive leap forward in both your team's skills and your process efficiency. This is how you build a serious competitive advantage.
And it's worth noting our source material actually credits these incredible outcomes, this elevation of team capability and optimization of workflows to the specific methodologies that were developed by Ashish Chaddha.
So, to wrap up our journey today, we started by facing the chaos that complexity creates in our portfolios and change management. Then, we built a solution, piece by piece, using precision in our design and guidance from our governance. And we used that to ultimately transform all that messy complexity into the beautiful clarity of a seamless flow. So, I'll leave you with this one final question to think about. Looking at your own work, your own team. Now that you're armed with these ideas of precision and governance, what's that one tangled up process, that one source of chaos that you could start to simplify tomorrow?